chicken. Well, everybody's chickenpreneurs. What's wrong with that? You gotta be creative.
This is free-range chickenpreneurs.
Chickenpreneurs. Oh my God!
Let me just remind. We're having fun. Let me remind the viewers. We want you to call in. We want you to be part of this discussion. If there's anything you heard tonight, or you have something brand new you want to talk about, we have this last 24 minutes. It's yours. Well, it's been 30 because I've been waiting on you. So we're asking you to call. I know that someone was ready to call, and I told him, let me see if I could call him back. So, folks, in the meantime, like. Remember, you've got to like. Yeah. Exactly, Miss Mottley. Jeannie Mottley's asking. Look at Jeannie Mottley's question. I was wondering about that today. When was this public discussion about emblems going to happen?
I think the report has to be circulated first. The reports have not been. The reports of the person who compiled it have not been. They're supposed to go to Parliament and then also go to Parliament and then distribute to the public.
Yeah,
for discussion.
But that's a thing. Anyway, I'm waiting to see how that is going to happen. If we're going to really have meaningful discussion, you have to plan for it. But there's a caller on the line. Good night, caller.
Hi, good night, Marcia, to all, and good night, Glyne. Good night, Maxine.
Good night. Good night. Good night, sir.
Yes, sir. I kind of agree with you more. They're planning this big regathering for the diaspora, a lot of parties and a lot of different social events and stuff like that. In one way, that's what they're trying to bring people together. But how is that going to help the economy? How is that going to help the average man and woman out there in the streets that are currently right now suffering? We hear of a shortage of rice. We hear of a shortage of the shortages of everything, which brings to mind that we beg to suggest that there's no structure in, if not all, the majority of these sectors that's run by government. So we need to establish structure. There's no structure. They're just going ahead, and you could say shooting first and asking questions later. And my question to the panel, to Marcia, have we found out with these loans that they're borrowing, what is the time frame or the time lag they have in between to pay back loans? And if they have started to pay back, who are the actual debtors that they've paid back, and how much interest would have accumulated or is being accumulated over such a time period? That would be my question.
Yes.
You guys.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for calling. Thank you so much. God bless. Yes. First he was asking about the gathering. How will that help economy? And yes, so what anybody wants to talk about, how can it help the economy?
Well, I could. All right, Glyne, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Marcy.
I was going to say, but first, I think
go ahead, Marcy.
The fact that people come home, they will spend some money in the economy. Now, I would need to find out. You mentioned free feds. Now, if there's a free fed every week, you're talking about millions of dollars at the end of the day, because you're going to have to pay people to set up equipment and whatever. I mean, I don't know, because we have 52 weeks in a year.
Right.
You know, precisely. So I think, but I would contrast that. What I would say, it would be nice to see a full program, having coordinated the 50th anniversary of independence. And I remember, and I can go back and bring the budget. In fact, as I say it now, I'll go back and look. But we had a series of activities, but a lot of those activities were educational in nature. While some of them would have been entertainment, they would have been, information shared about our history and whatever. So I would like to see what we're doing now. in addition to coming home and spending money in the economy on a holiday, because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
The question is, what else are you requiring? I know, for example, when we had every 2 years, we had an alternate years, biennial diaspora conference. And so we had where people came in. I think I would have met you at one of those marches when we were looking at the business of film and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And people were able to engage. We had young scientists. The daughter of another Commonwealthian, the late Royal Hollingsworth, his daughter, Dr. Hollingsworth, she would have been sharing with young people as somebody in science. Um, she would have been in a field very much similar to her dad and whatever else. So there were very concrete things. We also had opportunities where people looked at business, where people engage business people. So I would like to know what the objective is. On the other hand, when we in the alternate year we had Barbados comes to, and we had business people and others going into jurisdictions. We were in Atlanta, we were in a couple places in Florida, we were in South Carolina. We had some activity in Canada. Things were planned for the UK. So I would, and that was to let people explore opportunities. For example, I remember the fertility clinic here attended the conference in Atlanta, and what came out of that was that in terms of the reputation and success rate of that clinic, Barbados seemed to have been doing very well. You had other people exploring business opportunities. So I would like to know, other than entertainment, what exactly are we hoping to come out of that? And I want to say this before I stop. I am disappointed that we call it Regathering. And the reason I say so, in the early days of planning our diaspora conference, a guy from Ireland found his way to me. I don't know how he heard about what plans we were making. I suppose he might have heard something. And he came to me offering his services as a consultant. And he shared with me what they had done in Ireland on a similar event called the Gatherings. So instead of saying the gathering, we say we gathering. So I hope that they simply borrow the idea and didn't pay anybody for the idea. But I'll stop there, Marcy.
That's the thing about it as well, But I mean, it can be, and to answer his question, definitely, this can help to boost the economy. I mean, we would still have to think about the crime situation, because if you're going to have effect, if it is really true every week, then diaspora understand you need to find out from this government what they've done about the crime situation in Barbados. But that is pure pow. That is what is going to happen. And if you, because right now that's what's going on, right?
If I may add, Marcia, I understand the sub slogan you're gathering, according to what I heard from Chantel Monroe right there, she's saying, "Come long home." The tiger is "come long home."
Okay.
In Barbados now, everything has to be vernacular. Come long home, we gathering art. But apart from that, it can work if it is structured properly. If you have the, because I will tell you why he says it, because when we set up community independence celebration, when we were having a major event in a parish, we asked the committee to source carpenters, an electrician, a plumber, so any work was done and left in the community. And as a matter of fact, a number of businesses sprung up out of those initiatives, so it can work. But what I'm afraid of, the way I'm seeing things go, is that, like I spoke, the chosen few, the elite of the entertainment world will get jobs. I see they're having the Spirit of the Nation show next Saturday, and Mikey, when I had it, when I was in charge, no national performers came or benefited. It was all about the community. We produced Ramesses Brown, Tara Holder, because they came from the community. But to put, to me is a contradiction in terms of put a national figure at the community event celebration. And the amount of people. So if you do that again, it might be certain few will go into each parish every weekend and make money as often as possible, and others will not, from the community, from the parish themselves. They all depend on how it is structured and organized.
Correct. I think the person who just realized, because that picture came to me while we were having the show, so let me just clarify. And I think what they're trying to highlight in the picture is the fact that up to a year ago, she was not wearing the Barbados pin. She was wearing the Sustainable Development Goals pin,
But she
and
can wear both. I don't
excuse
know.
me, please.
I was saying she can wear both at a minimum if you want to really sustain, we'll put the Barbadian one above that.
Above it, but you should have as you are the Prime Minister of Barbados. So I think that's what so that's clarified. That is what they sent it to me for. Okay, so apologies.
So maybe she has broken with the broken trident. She will bring a new flag.
She will possibly bring a new flag, and we want to know when the emblems are going to be discussed. If my thing is this, if you are planning for there to be discussion, I would think that by now, this is 11, by now, Mr. Murray, there has to be some distribution of that material. There should be town halls planned. You see what I mean? There's no proper discussion, because today is the 11th, tomorrow is the 11th, and we haven't seen, we were told about it at the beginning of November. Furthermore, that's something, if you really want the entire Barbados to be involved in that kind of thing, we should be talking about this from September, October. And we know that it's coming up, and we know how we are going to conduct the discussions, etc., etc. They're not serious.
But Marcia, I'm trying not to be cynical, but I have been around enough to know that there's a certain elite group of artists, graphic artists, producers, printers, who will be involved in that. Just like they did with the so-called education reform. You create, some people make money, the job is done. So there's no point in getting some money. This is after the fact. I mean, I'm impressed that this at least we said we will get a chance in a printed form to consider it, and it's not just being thrust on us in an abstract manner or online. But I have to see that happen first, and how it will happen. But it is the nature of the operation where the public's input is the last to be considered. It's happened too many times. That's par for the course. Par for the last 6 years, that has happened very many more often than not. So we should get accustomed to it and be surprised when that doesn't happen out there. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, definitely. We will have to definitely wait and see. But I want to use the last, since nobody else is calling, want to use the last 10 minutes to talk about the cybercrime bill hearing. But before I do that, I want to show you something that happened in Africa, right? And I just can't remember the exact location, but once the video starts, you will hear about it. What has happened? Where there's a minister, I think it's a minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. McLean. He has slept with over 400 women in the government, and they have this videotaped, and he's had them in almost every everywhere in all these different departments. Okay, and so somebody decided to put it all. Well, that's not true. What happened is that he got caught up in a lot of corruption, and so the police, when they seized all of his assets and so on, they found these videos, and these videos have been put online. Okay, so you're not going to see the videos. I just want us to discuss this a little bit. So Dave, just play a little bit of it. I hope it's correct. Yeah. Can you hear anything? Can't hear, right? You can't hear?
I'm hearing songs and noises, but no dialogue.
I don't know why.
There's no narration. There's no narrative with no
Okay,
narration
so
going on.
all right, well, yeah, that didn't work.
Despite the government shutting down social media, footage of Equatorial Guinea's former director of the National Financial Investigations Agency, Baltazar, chained while taken into police custody and being taken to Malabo Central Prison, where he will stay to await his judgment, has surfaced. The father of 6 is still under investigation and being accused of corruption and embezzlement of several billion CFA francs. This comes after he recorded 400 sex tapes with several married women. After the shocking story went viral across Africa and is currently trending globally, the government of Equatorial Guinea quickly shut down the country's internet to prevent the further circulation of Baltazar's S-tapes to the rest of the world. According to a reliable source, the 54-year-old married man has been doing this for a long time, and the 400 tapes in his mobile phone and gadgets are just the tip of the iceberg. Incidents where he might not have recorded the act allegedly could be more than the tapes found. Baltazar Ngonga has also been fired as the Director General of Equatorial Guinea's National Financial Investigation Agency and replaced by Zenon Obiang. Since the married man brought shame to his country, which prides itself as one of the richest countries in Africa, just like its former leader, people are worried that Baltazar might be tried and executed. Who leaked the videos and how did the government fail to stop the S scandal from spreading globally?
Uhlaba 400 boy, straight live wire, without any interference.
Hello guys, it's Tico here for African Glitz.
Equatorial Guinea is a small country located on the west coast of Africa, yet it is one of the largest oil producers on the continent. Since beginning oil production in 1995, it has become one of sub-Saharan Africa's biggest oil producers. The country is made up of the mainland region known as Rio Muni and 5 islands, the most notable of which is Bioko, where the capital, Malabo, is situated. As a former Spanish colony, Equatorial Guinea has a gross domestic product GDP of $10 billion, making it one of Africa's wealthiest nations, with a GDP per capita of $34,865. It stands out relative to its population size. However, despite being one of Africa's fastest growing economies and a major oil exporter, the country faces significant challenges with poverty. Over 70% of the population lives in poverty, and more than 40% live in extreme poverty. Reports indicate that this situation is largely due to corruption and institutional weaknesses. Equatorial Guinea is the only African country with Spanish as an official language and one of the largest oil producers in sub-Saharan Africa. The capital, Malabo, is on the island of Bioko, while most of the country's landmass is on the mainland. There is no real media pluralism in Equatorial Guinea. The government-controlled radio and TV broadcaster is the primary source of news. However, online media outlets such as blogs have developed in recent years, providing news that partly escapes government control, which could be the reason why Baltazar's sex scandal got out and went viral out of their control. President Obiang Nguema is Africa's longest-serving leader and has been in power for over 40 years. In 1979, he seized power from President Francisco Macias Nguema, whose rule prompted a mass exodus and thousands of deaths. The former leader was tried and executed. The new president relaxed some of the restrictions of his predecessor, such as a ban on the Catholic Church, but kept the absolute control he inherited.
Okay,
He seems intent on continuing the dynasty.
That's okay,
and
Dave. Thank you so much. Yeah. But I wanted to get to that part where it says that the government controls all the traditional media. So they control the radio, the television, and print media. All right. So think about that. And but they don't control social media. So the way that they shut that down is where the government decided that they were going to close down Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Everything was shut down because they wanted to stop these videos of this man's acts from going. Somebody said that he was very, very busy. Right? But no, but I brought that up for a reason to show when the government can then decide. They decide because it's not in their best interest. It's not making them look good, so they decide. Listen, we're just going to shut it down. Okay, and that's my segue really into the hearing in Washington, and I think Dave has the link where the hearings where you can tune into the hearings tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Okay, at 11 a.m. Dave, I'm not sure if you're seeing it.
Is it 11 Barbados time or 11?
Oh,
that's or 11 our time.
Miss McLean, just check for me. What time is it in Washington right now?
I think they're all behind.
Yeah, the clock has gone back, so they
should be 12 o'clock Barbados time there.
So thank you, Mr. Morris. So it's 10 a.m. So the hearing is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Barbados time. Okay.
So they start at 9 o'clock then. Their time.
No, they start at 11 their time. So it's 10 hours.
So it'll be 12 o'clock.
They're all behind us.
Oh boy, I'm mixing up.
For them to 11, we have to be 12.
I understand now. I'm
right,
sorry.
So it's 12 o'clock our time. Noon.
So it is 12 noon. 12 noon. Everybody say 12 noon.
Barbados time, right?
12 Barbados time. 12 o'clock Barbados time. 12 o'clock Barbados time. It's a hearing tomorrow, okay? So we have our team. The team is there, and they are going to be presenting tomorrow. Okay, so I want to thank Mr. Murray, who helped tremendously in getting that team ready. We still have not said all the names of everybody, we didn't want to do that. And so you will see who they are tomorrow. So want to thank Mr. Murray for his work in helping us to get them ready for that event. And so I think they have been rehearsing, and they've been doing their work, and they are there as citizens. The citizens are speaking for more than anybody else. And as I said, that we would have collected monies among ourselves. So it's coming from us, the people. And, and that's how they're there. Down to some of the, what they're wearing, their little pins and all of that, people in the diaspora and so on. So in total, there should be approximately 14 persons there from the diaspora. From the diaspora and living in Barbados, okay, as representing us on this cybercrime bill, okay? So if you're interested in the link, you can always message me, 236-7000, 236-7000. I'll send you a little flyer along with it, but that flyer is going to say 11 o'clock, but it's 11 o'clock, as Mr. Murray and Mr. McLean has pointed out, in Washington, their time, okay, but it's 12 o'clock Barbados time, okay, so that you can join in. All right. So that brings us to the end of the show, Miss McLean. We're at the end of the show, and what are we saying to the people before they go? What do you want to leave with them?
Well, I would leave. I wish the delegation in Washington the very best tomorrow. I think it's a very important issue, and as you showed the images of Equatorial Guinea, I happen to have gone there, and notwithstanding the very high, relatively speaking, per capita, as they point out, income because of oil, it's a small island. The money is controlled by President Obiang Nguema and his family. His son, a couple of years ago, came here and stayed at our most exclusive hotel, and and so it is unfortunate that not only are they're squandering the resources of the people, but they're also trying to silence the people when they seek to highlight wrong and so on. And these are the things people will say not about here, but every bit of freedom that is lost, or every bit of standard that falls, whether it is transparency of operation of government and standards in the private sector or whatever, you know, a fall leads to further falls, and that's where we end up, you know, along a continuum that we wouldn't want to. So I just want to say, as we celebrate our independence, remember what brought us here. And in fact, Marcia, as you were talking about and Glyne, it reminded me that I should go and revisit an initiative that was done during the celebration of our 50th, and that had to talk about Barbadians and the values going forward and the things that we thought we should hold on to. I know there was some work done, research done by the University of West Indies on behalf of the government in that respect. So I'll go and look for it and share on my next occasion, once I can get my hands on it, what was intended, what the findings were, and how we can use that going forward to work on us as a people.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. McLean. And Mr. Murray, what do you want to leave with the people tonight?
I hope, and thank you very much for the very kind things you said about me, but I felt it was a national duty. I could not help but make my contribution in whatever little way I can. But I think it's a momentous occasion. And I think Barbados should join it collectively by almost anybody who could join online should watch it tomorrow. And make sure we share and form to help generate further. Because the battle will not end there. But to me, this would take it international, just like how the people in Equatorial Guinea would have wished they could have stamped it out, suppress it. It's too late. And I think we've now gone to the wider scale, and we have to anticipate, take advantage of that, and make sure it serves the purpose, the long-term purpose of Barbados in the best way possible. And I just, not luck, I think they're well rehearsed. They have to just do their job, and they represent Barbados' excellence in a way that has never been done before.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Murray, and the entire team made up of viewers from this show, The Loyal Opposition, who come together and you've met and you did all the callings, the emails and everything. All the background work has been done by you, the citizens. Nobody has been paid to do anything. No lawyer is paid, nobody is paid, all volunteer. Coming out of this show and The Loyal Opposition, we have met, we have researched, we have written, we have, come together, and it's a team effort. And it's from you, Barbados, everybody, okay? So make sure that you join us tomorrow at midday, and you can send the link and send it out to others, okay? Thank you so much, Dave, and I will thank Dave for the wonderful top of the show. And that is going to be a keeper. We need that. We need to have that, again tomorrow night. And whenever all of this November, we need to have something. So he set the bar all that high now. So I'm sorry for him. We're going to have something at the beginning of that show again. All right, over to you, Dave.
Bye. Onko se Terence Trammell? 2 kertaa Olympia 2. 2 kertaa MM-kisojen 2. Kaikkien aikojen tilasto 9. Yhdessä David Paynein kanssa 3. paikalla ajalla 13-12 maailman tilastossa. Suurvoitto puuttuu, mitaleja loistavia suorituksia arvokisoista riittää. Iso-Britannian William Sherman juoksi 13.38 välierissä ennätyksensä ja taputtelee siinä itseään sen verran, että alkavat olkapäät pudottaa. Mitäs siinä? Finaaliin kun lähdetään, niin saavat vähän punottaakin ja sitä mentävät myöskin brittikannattajat. Tuima ilmes siihen päälle vielä kohta tullaan. Sitten Peter Svoboda. Yllätysmies varmasti finaalissa. Euroopan hallimestaruuskilpailujen 3. Pekingin välierän juoksussa mukana. 13.33 välierissä kauden paras. Ja ulkoradalla kokenut Maurice Vignal. Atenan 4, Helsingin 7, 13.43 välierissä kauden paras. Siinä he ovat.
Palautuuko yhdysvaltalaisten kunnia? Siitä kai tässä on suurimmalta osin kysymys. 4 edellistä arvokisafinaalia on mennyt yhdysvaltalaisjuoksijoiden ulkopuolelle. Edellinen voittaja Alan Johnson 2003 Pariisissa. Sen jälkeen on Liu kahdesti, Tukure kerran ja Robles kerran ollut edellä. Rathwaite on se jokeri tässä, joka voi Payneä ja Tramelia ahdistaa. Erinomainen välieräjuoksu. Pystyykö nuori jätkä pitämään homman koossa vielä tässäkin? Aina kompuroi joku. Kuka se on tällä kertaa? Ja Tramel hakee sitä unelmaa. On jo pitkään jahdannut sitä. Nyt se olisi tarjolla.
Tramel kompuroi Pekingissä, keskeytti alkuerissä. Nyt olisi elämänsä tilaisuus viedä se iso potti itselle. Sitten vielä pistetään sivunumerot syrjään, koska nyt keskitytään pelkästään ja ainoastaan siihen, että vaikka aitaa kaatuu, niin mies tulee kovaa. G-Way, Thomas, Payne, Braithwaite, Trammell, Sharman, Svoboda, Pinnol, sitä vastaan liikkeelle. Tasainen startti, keskeltä lähtee hyvin David Payne. Kaikkein parhaiten tulee Payne, hän johtaa tällä hetkellä kilpailua selvästi. Vasemmalla tulee Braithwaite, Trammell tulee hyvin. Tuleeko Sharman voittoon, Trammell nousee viimeisellä kärkeen. Meneekö voittoon asti kovaa kamppailu. Ja taitaa olla niitä, David Payne vie voiton. David Payne heittäytyy loistavasti ja menee maalikameran kuvaksi. Siinä ovat David Payne, Ryan Braithwaite ja Terence Trammell kaikki samassa nipussa. Näytti siltä, että David Payne tulee kaikkein parhaiten viimeiset metrit ja heittäytyisi voittoon 13-12. Kaikki ovat silmät pyöreinä. Kuka vei? Braithwaite katsoo, että oliko se minä. Trammell katsoo, että mitä tapahtuu. David Payne tutkii siellä. Kaikki jännittävät. Tasainen lähtö. David Payne saa erinomaisen lähdön radalta 3. Aivan mainio lähdön. Siinä myöhästyy Ryan Braithwaite aika pahasti. Katsokaa, kun Trammell alkaa nousta. Sitten alkaa jälleen David Payne tikata. Nyt lähtee Braithwaite uudelleen tulemaan sieltä. Todella tasainen ja kyllä se siinä on nyt. Ei lähdetä turhaan arvailemaan. Nimittäin voittaja on selvillä. Ja hän on Barbaroksen Ryan Braithwaite. Ajassa kohdalla 13-14. Juoksee maasennätyksen ja sittenkin heittäytyy maaliviivalla kaikkein parhaiten. Mutta kyllä se on tuhannesosa peliä. Ja hän katsoo itsekin, että herranen aika. Minäkö sen tein? Juoksi siis välierissä 13-18. Maasennätyksen parantaa 400-osalla. Ei usko vieläkään, että hän on se voittaja. Täällä on jo tuloksissa Ryan Braithwaitein nimi, mutta tutkitaanko siellä kuvaa? Pakkohan sitä on ilman muuta tutkia. Se on täällä myöskin suurella tulostaululla ja kansa hiljenee katsomaan, mitä tapahtuu. Ryan Braithwaite 13-14, Terence Trammell 13-15.
A good thing to end on. We are celebrating everything Barbados this evening, okay? All right, guys, have a good night. And the same way that Barbados pulled through, right? We're going to do that, right? But you see, he was trained and ready under good leadership, the right leadership. All right, bye-bye, folks. Good night.